Good morning and welcome to the Caribbean Edge. My name is Dawn Wilson. I'm your host today, and I'm joined by Miss Joy Tracy from Jamaica. Hi, Joy. How are you?
Good morning, Dawn. I'm doing great and giving thanks for what God has done for me because He has done amazing things which I love to share to the world.
Yes, so that's what we're here to talk about today because I'm doing a series and it's about against all odds. And it's for people like you that have gone through, you know, and quite an experience, quite a journey, and sharing it with the world. Because so many of us sometimes we go through something and we think that we're at rock bottom. And then when you hear someone else's story and how they've been able to overcome, you realize the power of God and the power of the human spirit and hope and we're going to talk a lot about that. So tell us about your journey. What happened?
Well, to God be the glory, great things He has done. On the 19th of November, that's yesterday, 2009, 12 years ago, whilst in a management trainee meeting at RBTT Bank, Jamaica, where I work now, Surgical Bank, two blood vessels burst in my brain. Well, first of all, I took sick. Well, I collapsed at the bank. When they rushed me to Andrews Hospital, that's near to the bank, they weren't sure what was happening, and I stopped breathing, so I was pronounced dead. But whilst being transported in the ambulance to Kingston Public Hospital, the major hospital in Jamaica, the nurse kept pumping the oxygen. Although the doctor said to her, "Nurse, you can stop pumping now, she's dead." And I would say, well, that's what I was told, not what I remember what I was told. I would say because of her love, she continued to pump. And that's what kept me to Kingston Public Hospital. When I got there, my neighbor told me when she came to visit me, the doctor said to her, "I'm sorry, miss, she's gone. There's nothing more we could do." She said, wow, she almost collapsed at the hospital having heard that. But it was my aunt, a nurse practitioner in Mandeville, another major town, who refused to accept the death verdict, insisted I be taken to the University Hospital for one last try. When I got to the University Hospital, they did an MRI, the scan for my head. We saw me hemorrhaging, two blood vessels burst in my brain. When no doctor wanted to touch me, 41 years old, they said it was so high risk I would have died in a hole. It was Dr. Carl Bruce, my neurosurgeon, who recognized me as his head girl from Manchester High School and decided to look at me. What he did 3 days later on the 21st, what he did was to split my head from here, slit open, and slit the blood vessel that was bleeding because it was known as a very aneurysm when rolled up. After the surgery, I fell into a coma. I stopped responding, so I was pronounced dead again. My son, 17 years old, Matthew, who was at the pre-U doing Caribbean exam for tertiary education, I heard he was the one who came to the hospital in ICU, shoot me with vengeance, shouted at me, "Mom, mom, mom, don't go. Remember that Brittany and I need you. Brittany, who is my daughter." And they said, since then I started to respond. And Dawn, wow, I've not stopped responding 12 years later. I understand that I felt, yeah, that was it. I was in a coma for over a month. Look at that. I went to the hospital at the 19th of November. It was my daughter now at 9 years old doing GSAT, that's the exam for high school. Can you imagine 9 years old going through this and 17 years old? I heard she was the one who came to us and cried to my neurosurgeon, "Please release my mommy. I won't have my mommy for Christmas." And I understand I was released on the 24th of December. That was my daughter's Christmas present. And as you can imagine, I live in a townhouse have to traverse 13 flights of stairs daily. Imagine being discharged in a wheelchair with my left side paralyzed. How challenging that must be. But guess what? I was always this type of person who always try to find the positives out of everything. I refuse to accept my situation because I said that because I was so independent, always independent. I can't be always asking people to do things for me. So I had to find a way to get down those stairs. So of course, I started doing therapy in my bedroom. What I had to do was to show the power of the mind. Hold on to the rail and try and get down somehow. And when I looked at myself, I said, no, that's not me. My jaw was sunk in the hole from the stroke. My fingers curled up hard, it could hardly open, and I could hardly walk. So I said, when I looked at myself, I said, no, that's not me. And I refused to stay like that. Wow. What did I do? I started going to the gym because I was so determined. And I would walk. The minute I realized I could walk, walking became my hobby. Because I would wake up 4 o'clock in the morning. I would walk for an hour, which I did this morning. And now I ride my exercise bicycle for half an hour. And now look at me. What an awesome God.
What an awesome God and what an awesome woman you are.
Guess what? I thought about my daughter, 9 years old. What's going to happen to this child? And I would watch her closely and realize how much she was hurting because I'd hear her singing in the bathroom. What she doesn't, a child like her deserves to go through something like this. She was hurting, so I had to push for her. So I walked every morning, continued to exercise. And then I go to the gym. I realized I was walking much better. I'm not at the stage where I could just leave the stick. I could go without the stick. So a doctor at the gym, didn't even know he was a doctor. Joy, you are amazing. You are such an inspiration to all of us doctors. You have done what no one has ever done. So I continue to push.
So thank you for your sharing your amazing journey. So take us back to prior to the stroke. What was life like? Was everything normal?
Well, in hindsight, I'm calling this a setup for a comeback. Because what many viewed as a major setback or a stumbling block, to me, I saw it as stepping stones for greatness. Because look at me now here today, being interviewed by Dawn, world-renowned Caribbean heritage. So this is indeed an opportunity which I capitalized on. I was always an absentee mother. My children never saw me, my daughter, my son. I was always working and studying. I did an associate degree whilst working in the bank, a first degree on a Sunday, and worked 5 days per week. When this happened, I was in my first term doing my MBA through FIU UCC on a Sunday. But now I have now capitalized on the opportunity to spend some time with my children.
Yeah.
So this is the one of the major positives coming out of my experience. And as a result of that, both children have exceeded all expectations, success. Because my daughter, who was 9 years old doing GSAT high school, is now in Canada on a Scottish University, 17 subjects, 13 ones.
Wow.
My son, he matriculated for the University of West Indies, I think with 14 subjects. Graduated in 2018 with a degree in management studies, major in marketing. Now working with the National Housing Trust. So I believe God is now compensating us for all that we have lost. So, and we are truly thankful. But Dawn, I could not have done this by myself. So what I would say is that my story is about how love has conquered all. First and foremost, God's love for me. That's what kept me through this. Man could not have done this. So it was through the love and support of my friends, family, church community, and my co-workers that has helped me through this. I believe God. Do not underestimate the power of God, because He will send the right persons at the right time. That nurse who kept pumping the oxygen, it was God who showed up again. He sent her. God, can you imagine if she didn't continue pumping that oxygen? That would have been it.
Yeah. Wow.
The
So
love
one of the
and support of friends and family. Most importantly, my sister Desiree. She has been here with me from November 19, 2009. And I would say selflessly helped her sister. So, and my church community, for us who have assisted with Rise to Church, because church is what help to build my spiritual life, or, our spiritual self, which a lot of people neglect, is the most important, especially in a time like this. So it gives you hope.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, I can't imagine your kids being so young and you're going through this. And one of the lessons you touched on for all of us is how important it is to spend time. We work so much, and we work and we study, and we get caught up in so many other trivial things. And you want to make sure you cherish every moment, especially with your family and friends. So that's a huge lesson for us.
Exactly right. I truly started to live when this happened to me. I truly started to live at 41 years old. The way how God had intended.
Yeah.
And I find time now for myself, self-care, which is so important, especially in this time, during this pandemic.
So you got home and you have all these stairs to climb and to get back. Tell us, emotionally, what did you go through once you're home, back in your home, and your entire world has now changed? And you're laying down and you got to get up out of that bed. Where did you find that energy? Talk to us about that.
Right. Okay. Let me tell you what it is. Well, first, I think, it's really God's grace and mercy that has kept me. But having read this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, what jumped out at me, and that has become my mantra for the past 12 years: whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, can achieve. So I used my mind to achieve all that I wanted to. Going down the stair, no matter how challenging it was, I just said myself, Joy, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. And you do this.
Yeah.
Even at the gym, because I just had to focus on the goal, no matter how challenging it was.
And for all of us that have health and strength, and we still find all the excuses in the world not to get up and go work out and go exercise and appreciate.
I'm glad you touched that, especially in this pandemic.
Yes.
Self-care to me is absolutely important.
Yes. Yes.
Nutrition, exercise, water, sunlight, temperance air, rest and trust in God, with an attitude of gratitude and a spirit of benevolence. That's a new start program which has really helped me. And I believe this is the answer to this pandemic. Because I consider it to be a holistic approach to maintaining good health. Absolutely.
Let's talk about fear. What happens when fear enters your mind? How do you overcome that?
Okay, sure. It's amazing how you touched that question. Would you believe that is what helped me in that hostel? When I was in fifth form at 16 years old doing CXC for high school, my great grandmother at 97 years old took sick and sent to call me. And guess what? Asked me to read Philippians 4 verse 6 or 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, make your request be known to God. And guess what? At 97 years old, she clutched onto my fist and took her last breath. But guess what, Dawn? I had no choice but to do well. Because she has lived her life 97 years old, it was just my time now. So I had to put that aside and still perform. I still went into that exam, Dawn. Got enough subjects to take me to sixth form, and I eventually became head girl. So you see, this was not the first challenge that I had to adversity I had to overcome. At 16 years old, I had that major adversity, and thank God I pulled through. So that is what probably kept me in the hospital. But I remember that the Bible verse: "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, make your request be known to God." And I believe it is so applicable in this pandemic. That's what we all need to focus on.
Yeah, the pandemic has somehow, I believe, just taken us through so many different mental stages, the fear of it, the unknown about it, and then the appreciation of life. And that's why it's so important when I speak to people like yourself that have just gone through so much. And then you still can praise God. You can still show your appreciation. It's beyond amazing.
No, right. You know why, Dawn? I realized that since this happened to me, so many persons have died from aneurysm, single aneurysm. Just yesterday, someone shared to me that, Joy, you are blessed. I just lost my cousin to the same thing.
Oh, wow.
A friend of mine from the bank who had to pray for me, her cousin died, or a friend of her died in the USA from an aneurysm. I realized that God favored me. So I feel very special. So I'm Dawn. I'm 5 feet, but guess what? I stand very tall in any crowd.
You little but you're talawa.
No pun intended. Knowing that God favored me.
Absolutely. So, I mean, your children are amazing. You've mentioned both of them just being there and talking to you. And as a mom, I can relate that sometimes when we don't have the strength, we say we got to be there for our kids. You can't give up, right? Because you have these two kids that love you and you have to be there.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
My daughter until was 9 years old is indeed the real hero in my story. Can you imagine at 9 years old, where do you get that resilience from to overcome some major adversity, to have done so well? 17 subjects, 13 ones. So indeed, she's the one who's the hero. She's applauded by the whole world. Right, Dawn?
And your son for coming in the hospital room and saying, Mommy, we need you. You know, it's an amazing journey for you and both your kids and your sisters and family and friends, the community support you've had as well. And those doctors.
Because my son at 17 years old, he was thrust into adulthood with all these responsibilities. Having to drop me to the doctor, therapy, to the pharmacy. So it was, and he was studying, so it was really a lot on those two children. So boy, I give God all the glory and give him all the thanks, because indeed he's worthy to be praised.
Yes.
Man could not have done this.
I know.
We continue to put our trust in God, because he never fails us, as you can see here.
Absolutely. So against all odds, you made it. What would you like to say to the viewers, anyone that you can impact today? What lessons would you like to share with us?
Well, the lesson today is that, as you can see, my story is about how love has conquered all. It's important, especially in this pandemic. We too can conquer this pandemic if we all come together and love and support for each other. Observe all the COVID-19 protocols, wearing your mask, respecting each other's space, social distancing. Surely we do all of this, we can get through this. love and support families going through with who have like person dying. We just need to love and support each other. That's the only way out of it. And take care of ourselves. As you said, the nutrition, exercise, water, sunlight, temperance, air, rest, trusting God, which is most important right now, with an attitude of gratitude and a spirit of benevolence. And God is going to take us through this, just as you take me through this, because I'm no more special than anybody else.
You are a very special woman.
Yeah, no, he loves us all. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. He died for all of us.
Good. Well, thank you so much. Health, strength, exercise, your faith, believe in God, family, community, everything, and the strength of a woman. I know you're not giving yourself enough credit, but you are powerful beyond measure. And I appreciate you joining me on this Saturday morning to share your powerful journey with us.
Thank you so much, Dawn. And may the Lord cover you and your family and you be safe. And love you, my sister.
Love you too. Happy holidays.
Okay, thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay.